In the previous program, we talked about Tathagata asking him to design a song and love route, and must design a difficult road. Don't be afraid that he will die. I will give you 5 treasures, which are the lives of the treasures and the others. So what are these 5 equipment? First of all, if you are willing to believe that you will die in Gaza, you will have many reincarnations. The second one is a Western battle of the 9-ring road. Eating my Western war is not bad. The functions of the last 3 treasures are similar, and they are tightly integrated into the 3 orphans. If you run into a lump with great powers on the road of Nagka love, you are advised to learn well and make a map with Nagka lover. If he is not convinced, he can naturally see the root of the flesh on his head. Each one uses the same thoughts. He will have a headache, and he will be encouraged to help him and teach him to come into us. The first 2 treasures are exclusive to Chu lover. Judging from the results, Tangzing did indeed live to Lingshan, so this well blew Gaza 9-ring Western battle. It's really amazing. Mingming did nothing, and he cut the treasure. Tang was forced to leave after being credited with this. So if Tangzing dies in the picture, it has nothing to do with the baby, wouldn't it be said if I come? You say that you are dying when you see your heart. Only by wearing my Gaza and supporting my Western war can you avoid being harmed by reincarnation. So if you die on the road, don't blame this treasure for not being able to function, but your own mind to obtain the scriptures. If you don't have the intention to come here if you see the heart. So how can we prove that he died because of lack of faith? Because he is unlucky because he is unlucky, so he is just a dead cloud. So please pay attention to the next 3 stories. It is to choose people to learn well. If he is disobedient, let's use this story, similar to him. If everyone learns well, you must first make sure that you are willing to sit down and listen to you. It sounds violent, but when you think about it carefully, it really makes sense. For example, if you don't come out and press down on the 5-star mountain. In the end, not only did he not have Jihing Tathagata, he also thanked him for giving him the opportunity to regain freedom. These 5 treasures, Gaza and Tibet, were clearly stated by the Tathagata, who gave these 5 treasures to the people who came to the sutra. It is hard to put them on, but pay attention to the 3 stories that followed were not specified to give to. I just said that if I encounter that, the disobedient waste monster will give him the disobedient land. Since it is if, then if you can't touch it, or if the land is very obedient and not needed, then there is no need to use it, right? This is the operation of the empty check. Therefore, when looking for land in Guanyin Pusan, the tight amount is always to find land that is more obedient. If you are obedient, I will not look for the orphan. You will feel comfortable. I can still touch the orphan. As long as the task is completed, Tathagata cannot say anything. These things belong to me. So the way to obtain the scriptures is that Tathagata asked Guanyin to design a route to the life of the waste monster from the lobby to Lingshan, and then find a believer. Then I found 3 powerful waste masks to protect Tangsen, and walked to Lingshan with these equipment. This is what, in a word from the leader, he has to run away half of his work. Because of a Tathagata's idea, the land must be cut off when the Tathagata is running straight. First of all, we need to solve these problems. This is the first one. How to design the journey of learning from the scriptures. Tathagata didn't say that it didn't mean he didn't know what he thought. The route designed by Guanyin Pusan must be in line with Tathagata's beliefs and differences. At the same time, it must also belong to his own words of greatest benefit. Second, who should the person who seeks the sutras, how can he ask him to come to the sutras? Third, how can he choose these 3 lumbar masks? Why did Tathagata find 3? Who do Tathagata himself wants to find? How do you divide these 5 treasures into these equipment? The key is who these 3 are given to. What do you think about the Jade Land when the Tathagata is seeking the scriptures? What should the old army think about it? If they object, what should they do? Through these questions, we can see a Guanyin point that is still very high in distance and the love is still very high. The first problem that Guanyin Pusan solved was to find the waste mask. Tathagata asked him to find 3, Guanyin Pusan. How did he get the paperwork of Tathagata? He found 4, let's see what form these 4 waste masks appeared. The first one, Guanyin Pusan was actively and extremely lazy to kill the nucleus. But I said that the ENPU was a part. The only thing I had to flew out was that it was not high or low. Banyun was watching on the road by mistake. Of course, the project manager is also a guard, how can he be alone? So Guanyin Pu-san was not found by himself, so he brought a secretary and his little apprentice. This is a matter of the matter, while the person is leaving, the 3 days of the Hujian Ruoshui is a gift to kill the nuclear decree, and the disciple is here, he is indeed a man. How can Xi Jinping save the stock? Among Xi Jinping, there are more places with 800 miles, Wang Feng 0 800 miles, Tongli 800 miles, Tongli 800 miles, fire damage 800 miles, economic 0 is also 800 miles, and then the 7th injury 800 miles is 800 miles away. Why did Guanyin Pu-san stop here? The quicksand core. Let's stand up and stop talking about the mountain. No matter whether the mountain is in the original or high, you can always climb over it with your legs. These are all nuclear weapons. Isn't Guan Yin worried that the team to obtain the scriptures will not pass the process and deceive the nuclear weapons? Why didn't he find the old rules of Tongli to make him a land on the hall? There are only two possibilities. Tongli is not a legacy of Guan Yinpuzen's route of learning. Shrewd and his friends came to Tongli to make a fool of themselves, and they were just a surprise. The second possibility is that Guan Yinpu-san is specially designed to find this nuclear killer. Next, I was talking about it. Guan Yinpu-san looked at it and took the core directly. It was a loud sound. A waste jumped out of the water wave, which was very hatred. I took the monster directly, and I had a finger to protect it. I walked up and pressed it to make a spell, but I was pressed to the Soul Iron Gang and the nuclear power was upgraded. As for the monster, we come to welcome it with confidence. The monster mentioned here is to kill the nuclear power. Have you seen the problem? Tathagata asked Guan Yin to scatter half cloud and half error, just to let him lead the coins to move forward, so don't miss it. However, he exposed Lu Shay. This Lukkaki is the first stage of seeking the scriptures. It is quite close to the lobby, but very far from Lingshan. Guan Yinpuzen was half blue and half error all the way, and there was no problem. It was impossible for such a thing to happen in the end. Guan Yinpuzen came to Lu Kali directly to find the Kali. The target of this old killer is Guan Yinpu-san. Doesn't he know Guan Yin? What is the purpose of his doing this? And why did Guan Yinpu-san find killing to join the team to obtain scriptures? What kind of story is hidden in this old killing? And, next episode of the show, I will continue to tell you a book.